And I'll finish with one more story about Sayyidi Sultan NOoR ZANgi rahimahullah. And it's a story I'm sure many of us have heard many times before. And another instance, and this is what has really cemented the name of Sultan NOoR ZANgi in the pages of history. On one instance, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam came to Sultan NOoR ZANgi in his dreams. And he showed him two blonde men. And he said to Sultan NOoR ZANgi rahimahullah, save me from these two. He saw the dream on one night. He was troubled, but he didn't understand what that dream meant. The second night he went to sleep again. He saw the august presence of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he was told, save me from these two. Again, he was deeply troubled. But he didn't understand what the hadith meant, what the dream meant. On the third night, he went to sleep, and again he saw the beautiful appearance of Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he saw those two blonde men, and he was told, save me from these two. On the third night then, he spoke to his vizier and he said, we have to take a caravan to Al-Madinatul Munawwara. He gathered his men. Some narrations go as far as to saying there were thousands of camels, meaning this is the concern Sultan NOoR ZANgi had in this caravan to Al-Madinatul Munawwara. When they reached Al-Madinatul Munawwara and he sat with the people, he saw that he didn't recognize any of these two men. He didn't see these two men anywhere. His vizier asked him, Ya Sultan, do you see the two men that you saw in the dream? He said, no. So they facilitated an event, if you will, where they would call everyone in Al-Madinatul Munawwara and they would distribute various alms to them, meaning money and food and other things. All of the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara came. But still Sultan NOoR ZANgi didn't see these two blonde men. He then asked the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara, that is there anybody that has not attended today? They said there are two men who are extremely pious. They fast all day and they pray all night. They're the only two men who aren't here today. He said, take me to their home. So the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara took them to a tent. When the Sultan entered the tent, immediately there was nothing suspicious, nothing criminal. It was a tent, but in the center of the tent was a cauldron, like a big pot, upside down. And on top of the cauldron was a mushaf. We say Quran, a mushaf on top of the cauldron. Sultan NOoR ZANgi rahimahullah had the mushaf lifted. He moved the cauldron and he found that a tunnel was being dug towards the blessed Rawdah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He realized straight away that these two men were trying to dig a tunnel to the blessed resting place of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When the two men returned, he found out they'd been digging. And every night they would take the soil, place it in Al-Baqiyyu Sharif, and they would continue digging the next day. When they came back and they admitted that this was their intention, immediately the Sultan took out his sword and he decapitated both of the men. Sultan NOoR ZANgi rahimahullah ta'ala, thereafter the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara, they said to him, build some kind of structure around the Rawdah that will ensure that until Al-Qiyamah, nobody will ever be able to do this. Sultan NOoR ZANgi commanded for 4 iron walls from thick iron ore to be built around the resting place of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. By merit of those, until today, nobody can reach the resting place of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara honored him so much that above one of the doors of Al-Masjid al-Nabawi Sharif, they wrote the name UdDIN ZANgi rahimahullahu ta'ala, which was visible for generations after generations until very recently, which the recent authorities removed the name of Sultan NOoR ZANgi, rahimahullah. Now the rumors at the time, who were these two men and where did they come from? There were rumors abound throughout the Muslim world at the time. And this came to the attention of the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara after this occasion, that the Crusaders had intended to dig to the blessed resting place of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And in their delusion believed that they would remove the blessed body and take it to Jerusalem with them. But the strength of the iman of Sultan NOoR ZANgi was such that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself came to him in his dreams and gave him the great fortune of being the man who would be given this great fortune of taking the lives of those people and preventing the plans of the Crusaders. So these were just two very brief stories. But they shouldn't just be told to the merit of nostalgia, to make us feel good. We should take a lesson from them. That over 14 years of our religion have not always been easy. They've not always been of authority or sovereignty. Muslims have gone through difficult times. Muslims have gone through times which were greatly more difficult than some of the things we face today. But if you inculcate within your heart iman in Allah, love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and iman for Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and love for Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, even when you feel you're at your weakest, when you feel there's nobody there to help you, Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself will come and give you the